This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. Oh. Yes. Welcome back to another edition of the LinkUp podcast with your hosts, Mr. King and Kana.
Good evening, everybody.
And on this episode, this being
episode 19.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't keep track of the episodes. Like whenever it's time for upload, I'll find out what episode was the last one. Then I'll know what episode this one is. 19.
It's 19. But yeah, we have to give a little apology because last week we planned. Everything was supposed to be going good for making the show and them kind of ones, but
we ran into some technical difficulties which resulted in us rescheduling for another day, and then on the other day there was just some poor
timing, but
miscommunications with certain things, misunderstandings, so it just turned out to be a terrible situation. So we weren't, in any case, the bottom line is it wasn't able to do on that episode, and then from there it just was holidays and different things like that, and everybody was doing different things, so scheduling was an issue, so there was no episode.
Yeah, so our apologies for those who actually just keep up with us every week.
Who was looking for an episode and missed it and stuff, felt like a part of their week was missing. I could understand. I mean,
it's okay. We here now.
If we are part of your lives, to that significant extent, I'm deeply sorry and I apologize. But we're back now.
Oh God! So how your Christmas was, boy?
Christmas was good, man. Christmas was good. I can't lie. I mean, seeing as though I don't have much family in this country, it was kind of the way my Christmases normally go, spent with friends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the friends that I spend it with, I feel like, they basically my family anyway. Like, these are my brothers, and in many ways, that's the way I look at it, because they've been around for quite some years and stuff like that. Been through some ups and downs and all kind of whatnot, all kind of ridiculous adventures but yeah, just spending with some of the variety boys, a few of them. Not everybody's able to make it, but most of us that here in Holland and stuff, a couple of people are traveling or doing other things where their actual family, the ones that have family in this country. Mm-hmm. The homie Jay Wonder came from London again to hang out with the boys for the holidays and stuff. Back. Yeah, tall guy.
Well, he like flying himself.
Yeah, that would seem like. But the man, he basically was just saying like, yo, why you spend it over there when I ain't got no family and thing over there? Like, I really come chill with the boys for the holidays. It's like,
I mean, it's right there anyway. So
yeah, right across the water.
I feel.
So eat, we cook up a little bit. Went by Alsenio, cook up a little bit, eat, drink, celebrate.
A bunch of alcohol, I assume you know you, man.
Honestly, I realized how old you man. It was like there really wasn't that much there, like that much bottles, and we didn't even make it through. Like, this gonna sound terrible admitting to our alcoholism and going into detail of how terrible we was in our youth, but I remember on certain hotel flexes, dog.
Was thinking of self.
Like 9 bottles, 12. Like, I think the most ridiculous one was like 12 bottles, I think.
But then, okay, wait. How many people was there for Christmas?
Maybe 8, 9, without mentioning everybody's names to count. But I think maybe like 8, 9.
Okay, yeah, that's
it was a decent amount of people. It was
about 80%
probably
of the
more.
Group.
But it was a decent amount of people, and we had a few bottles, and we didn't even really finish them. We had there was a Brugal, a Black Label, Captain Morgan, what else was they had an 80 strong. I don't know if you ever it's something that's like a ridiculously high percent. I don't know if it's 80%, but I know it's pretty high.
That's absent, man.
It tastes like cough syrupy, and it tastes like something you necessarily want to be drinking. But then when you're playing the man, when the man pull out the GameCube and the man put on Mario Kart and fourth player get shots. 4 player get shots, and sadly, I came in fourth a couple times.
Nah, my guy.
And then the man was doing dominoes for shots and thing. And
okay, you see that's where things go wrong.
I wasn't playing the dominoes because I ain't not much of a domino player to just match cards and things that like I was never big on the dominoes like that. I am not a number person. Numbers and counting,
honestly,
I can't do that.
Me neither, no, but I learned a little bit this summer.
I understand the basics. You know, there's a certain number of dominoes. If like you look at what's on the board or whatever, then you could kind of figure out. But I know some people that like really like psychics with that shit. Like
yo,
just get it.
It used to piss me off.
Telling
like,
me what in my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but yo, why you cheating now? But dominoes ain't my thing. Can't even like dominoes ain't my thing. But it was a good time.
True that. But I mean,
arguing as usual.
But I mean that gonna always thing. That gonna never change. But from when we was a good 18, 19, because I was there for a couple of the
during the prime.
Let's call it eventful nights when I had them hotel rooms and or the one the random night. So we happen to be like, yo, so what? Everybody going out is a good, for some reason is 9 of us and everybody in their own car. Talk about
the ridiculousness, the ridiculousness that we used to do just because people are glad, frightened to have a car, have a license and thing, and have a car to drive.
Yo, and mine, almost everybody got Jeep.
Yeah,
and if you just say it's
more
cars,
than ample space, like more than enough space to fit at least 5-6 people in one vehicle, but now maximum 2 in a vehicle.
Taking about that for real, that was ridiculous.
Back seats never used.
But that's the thing, we accustomed to piling up. Like that used to be the flexes when man was 16, 15, 16.
The Camry dog.
Yo, look. That Blue Liberty used to get walked to now. I a good. What it was?
I know they used to have some dirty flexes with way too much people's stuff in that Camry though. I ain't even gonna lie that. In that Camry.
The Camry. I was only there for a few times with the Camry, where flexing was concerned. But I know I could talk decent about the white and the red Jeep because that's. You know, those are our times.
So what you were doing for Christmas? I feel like if we start going down this rabbit hole of reliving memories and things about the old days.
But we just sound like I got. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to paint that
terrible
picture.
Man. We grown now. But really and truly, I ain't do much for Christmas. I stay home and I drink. I kill off a bottle of guava berry there and
by yourself?
Wow.
I understand we trying to not look like alcoholics and things, but I mean, we really failing.
But
this is our attempt at trying to not look like we don't have no problems. Like
it's okay. No, I got another one there for New Year's.
Okay.
So it's okay.
True.
You know?
But it ain't about the fact that, you know what I mean? It's like you alone, dog. Like, what?
It's okay, man. You know, it helped me go sleep.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
I ain't do nothing special stuff. So it was just a thing. So I had a little technical difficulties with my phone, so I didn't really get to reach the family like, you know, most years. But it was cool. To me, it was just be a normal day. I ain't really got much family up here like that either. Everybody else either just enjoying themselves or like on their own flexes or things with the family. So, you know, gotta appreciate everybody space and them kind of ones.
But, you know, I would have done earlier. I would have tell you to come true and thing, but I mean, we don't know the reasons as to why that wouldn't work out.
It's okay. You know, I appreciate the thought. It's a thought that counts. You know,
maybe if it was in a different environment, but no need to go into.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But you know, it's thing. So what you doing for New Year's?
Yeah, I was just gonna say then. Christmas pass.
What's the pass for New Year's?
I think I'm probably going to be spending it with the my better half.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
No. If you did public like that. I didn't know this was going on.
I was trying to think on how to phrase it, how to go about it, and think whether to acknowledge, not acknowledge. And
she just listen?
Yeah, she regularly, all the time.
Hey, shout out to the better half.
Yeah, man. You know who you are.
You was waiting to say that, huh?
Bye.
Okay, true that. You know, you have a romantic time and them kind of ones. You have some shit planned. I mean, some some stuff.
Well. It's supposed to. She had in mind to go to some suit and tie or masquerade type party. I think it is. Like, from what I saw, the tickets was like €3 or something. It was like ridiculously cheap, but this was in G Town, so
wow.
yeah.
Okay. You know, trains and stuff to stop running at like 7, 8, right? According to my knowledge.
I gotta figure out how I get there and like figure out how the logistics and stuff, you know,
Okay.
of how that can work. But I think that's the plan. Not 100% sure. If that doesn't turn out to be the plan, I have no idea.
That's that's me period right about now, because I got work New Year's Eve and I finish on the schedule. Supposedly,
New Year's Eve is what, tomorrow?
No, New Year's Eve is
Monday?
Sunday.
Wait, but tomorrow's Sunday, though.
No, dog. Tomorrow's Saturday. Today is
what?
Friday.
What?
Take it easy.
Wow.
Take it. You're done that quick, man. You want 2018
I'm
reach.
confused.
It seems so.
Mixing things up.
Today is Friday. So tomorrow is Saturday, unfortunately, because tomorrow I got work too.
Okay,
but yeah, so I got work New Year's Eve and then try to make it home before public transportation stop running. And then after that,
jump in an Uber, man.
I know
good.
what?
Jump in Uber, you'll be good, man.
But you know how expensive the thing will be New Year's Eve?
$10.
What? By never.
New Year's Eve, yeah.
You must think this is Martin.
New Year's Eve. I was forgetting to factor in the New Year's Eveness and the price gouging
and
or
then
rise and
the
whatever it is.
availability and all that kind of nah.
I never do this Uber. I did it once.
I do it, but it wasn't from me, and I didn't pay for
I was
it.
just gonna say the same thing. Like, that was my situation as well. Like, it wasn't my Uber.
So nobody try to be in that situation. So I going to try to be home as quick as possible. But after that, it really much could do. Public transportation, like we say, ain't running. I don't got no kind of car like that. You know, student life.
Feets.
But not the hell.
With this weather?
No, man's not hot. But I don't mean man's gonna be doing that either. Okay? No.
But that's a lie though.
No.
You just said man's not hot.
Yeah,
but
because
that's a lie.
How you mean man's not hot?
Maybe. Okay, well, no, never mind.
Oh, okay.
I confused it. Like, I don't know. My brain is not functioning 100%.
It's okay.
I just came from work. I guess I'm a little disoriented. That's what I'm going to blame it on.
At least you got some kind of excuse.
Yeah, man. But
I know the New Year's Eve. But according to me, the last couple of years I just spent up here, so it owes to be lit. And what I mean lit, I mean like the young phrase. I mean like legit, like
you're on the firework vibe.
But no, I not getting. But I know a lot. I sure a whole bunch of people going to get.
The places sound like gunshots and normally. Every time around that, around New Year's.
I just always say so. No, if you was like a gangster, you was like an assassin type something. New Year's is the best time to kill people.
Bye.
Like you just walk up to somebody.
Nobody even gonna.
You didn't think I use a silencer. Yo, New Year's and Halloween. Pow pow. That's it. Happy New Year.
Nobody even gonna blink out.
No, that's it.
Just assume, okay, that was a pretty loud firework.
What kind of calabash that was?
Yeah. I don't know if that was the call him up here, but for some reason I feel like that's like Jack Spanier along with many other words. That's like a little more specific to St. Martin. I don't know if the rest of the world calls them calabash. For some reason I don't think so.
That's a good question for you. No. That's a very good question. I don't know. No. But I bought fireworks up here before, but I don't remember seeing the actual name calabash.
I was never a big firework person,
but I was never big with the names. I just okay, cool, that one go bang, reload. So I want that one.
So okay then, caveman. But I remember as a child, I had like the little sparklers and things. Like my mother really wasn't a fan of no fireworks. But like that. She wasn't buying nothing dangerous. Like,
look, no logical.
All I had was them sparklers,
would be.
The screamers and thing. And I remember I had a little like really when I was really young. I remember having a slide in the yard and thing, and we would just put them on it and like send them off. It was like a ram thing, and we would launch them off of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and they would go into like the empty lot next to my house. That they're in between Mr. Note's house and thing.
Wait, look, they catch fire to the bush.
Now it wasn't no problem. Then people should have put the house on the lot there. They should have not have an empty lot there for numerous years, just growing bush.
What?
Like
So you can't say you just shouldn't have to do fireworks in that direction.
Problems and thing for the nearby houses and thing. Kind of people who own the lot.
Wow.
It wasn't just an abandoned lot. The lot was owned by somebody, but they just didn't care about the lot and wouldn't maintain it and stuff like that. I had a bunch of grass growing up and thing. All kind of animals in there that just being pests and thing. Giving them a perfect kind of hiding place to invade or try breaking the nearby houses or whatever and thing like.
Well, I mean, at least I was doing that. You was never dumb enough to actually partake in the firecracker wars. So.
Nah.
You see, I
like having all my fingers and ligaments in them one.
You see, one year, you know, Sean being the how to say this, being the curious person that I am. I said, you know, I gonna join, but not again. Yo. Man crazy, no. Man on that island crazy, no.
Yeah.
You know,
that's been established for quite some time.
You know what it is to be just walking on the road, all of a sudden you just see that psst on the ground. And you don't even know what it is. It's one of those small ones that you got run, it's one of those big ones that cause fire and them. Yo. It's crazy to see people throwing those things after each other. Or you know those long ones that those things that come out of. I know it again. Me and them things names not really friends.
Things that come out. I know. I understand. Don't worry, I got you, man. I got you.
It'll shoot like a good 11 other. I don't even know what those things called.
Fireballs into the air.
You're supposed to shoot it in the air, but you know, man was shooting it after each other, looking like a ghetto Harry Potter,
trying to war and whatnot. I saw a video recently where this dude, it was like, the caption was something like road rage on a bike, and dude had like those same things where you talking about. The man strapped them to his bike because I think somebody had like swerve out in front of him or whatever, and like,
what are you doing having that?
I don't know why he having a because this like it seemed that this was premeditated, like he was going out looking for somebody, dog, because this dude just happened to like swerve kind of cut in front of him, and he was like, what, you think you get nowhere? That the man pull out a lighter, start lighting things, like sending him after the door. You seen him, it looked like a game, dog, because the way we had the camera, I was on the bike, so it's like a first person view.
Yeah.
So you just see in the front of the bike, and this with a gun, that what kind of looks like this box with a fireworks thing just shooting out. Like
that, but
people to do some crazy shit.
It is like you was in your car, you just happened to be there from some kind of prior engagement. But no, what you doing?
How do you retaliate on a bike though? So I mean, you gotta be, if you're riding on the highways and thing, people cut you off and whatnot. You can't ram them or nothing. So launch fireworks, dog.
You ever see those fail videos where the used to, like, the people on the bike start kicking the cars at the far?
The internet, dog. The internet's amazing. It shall remain undefeated.
Yeah, until net neutrality really kick.
But yeah, the internet was defeated. Never mind. Never mind.
If you want to think about it, technically the internet has lost.
But don't worry, there's something new can come on. They can find a new way to do the same thing that the internet does, but in a better way, and keep people out. And at some point, once the internet has been corporatized enough, like, I mean, the internet is a long way away from what it used to be like 10 years ago. In terms
how you mean, like speed and stuff like that?
No, just development. How far it's being embraced as just like a regular thing, as a part of everyday life, because it was still more of like, oh, you're nerdy or you're a tech person if you know how to like
you reset a router.
Yeah, like there's just no computers and working with them and dealing with the internet, and it's just such a part of our everyday lives to like 10 years ago and stuff like that. When it was like, if you have a computer, if you working and doing certain things on computers, perceived like you a nerd or you some kind of technical smart person or whatever, and now it's just an everyday thing. And the way people used to use the internet, if you look at the development of YouTube alone, from what it originally was, now the way that it's become a business for many people, that they build their lives and careers off of it. It was just a place where you had everything that was legal.
Yeah, but but YouTube wasn't the first platform to do that. It's just the first platform to success. I mean, to be successful. Because I mean, according to me, like, you could do them videos on like High Five, for example, or like Facebook. Like the content itself ain't a whole thing. It's like the YouTuber.
Facebook video was late. YouTube had video way before Facebook. High Five, I don't recall videos being a thing on High Five. I just remember people putting a bunch of ridiculously glittery stuff
that used
on
to
their
piss
profiles
me
and
off.
people trying to stun and write a testimonial on my wall. I need you to give me the comment and stuff on my wall and pimping out the profiles and adding music.
Yeah, every time you come on the page, some kind of song played, and then
I don't recall video, but
okay, maybe I'm thinking of something. But to me, there was some other platform for videos, man.
YouTube was one of the first streaming services, and the way people used to use it was very different to what it is now. And just like I said, the type of businesses and everything that's making use of it, social media, how it's being embraced by all of these companies as like the number one or the go-to method for marketing and advertising and these type of things. Like,
but I mean, I don't see it. I don't see no way how
the internet is very, very controlled. Like, it's at this point, it's very, very controlled. There's lots of companies that's involved in different ways in the internet. In its infancy, it wasn't like that because people didn't know what it was, and it was only certain people that worked with computers and kind of got how things was. That's what I mean. I feel like pretty soon we get into that point where like, and they already got like the dark web and people to talk about and stuff like that.
Exactly. You could also say the fact that because it's more accessible to almost everybody.
That's where the dark web comes. You have all those people, they transition, they move on to like internet level 2, while everybody else on like the regular internet, we over there doing whatever it is that people do on the dark web. Which is all kind of terrible stuff from what I hear, but no, I don't spend no time on it. I don't know what goes on.
I would be interested to check it out here and there just to see like how you have to maneuver and function.
Well, to my knowledge, you just got to get the Tor browser or something like that, and then you should be able to access the dark web. I don't know how the Tor browser works and all of these things, I just
Google search, but I ain't that interested too.
Exactly.
But no, like I was saying, I don't see how the internet could advance in any way unless the U.S. government, along with all like the other major ones like China and Russia, release.
You understand blockchain, Bitcoin, the technology behind Bitcoin and stuff like that?
No, I ain't even gonna front and sit up and say that. Yeah, but like I got a vaguely brief concept of it.
Blockchain technology is one of the things that I know a lot of people talking about in different things as like one of the new interesting development technologies and stuff because of the way it's like it's a super secure way of doing certain things or whatever, and like the way the whole system is set up, like it's kind of like really can't properly explain it, so I feel like I shouldn't even go too deep into trying to attempt. But the main points is that like from what is being used in the music industry, that's more of the things that I've been paying attention to, like the way that people trying to use blockchain into I think Ethereum or that's another one of the cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that's one of I think that's the biggest one under Bitcoin itself.
Imogen Heap, I don't know if you're familiar with that person. She's an artist, like makes different type of music, not hip hop, not R&B, nothing.
And most probably
from what I know, she was one of the people that was like heavy kind of advocating and behind that cause. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a blockchain technology that's supposed to be with music, that's supposed to be music based, and what they're trying to do is kind of create a simpler way to have music rights stored and all kind of other information, because like for example MP3s, you can also store the artist, there's the artwork information, like the BPM, how long the song is, all of that other little stuff. But just it would be great if you could also put the splits in that information, like from a creative standpoint. If you just have a way to manage your rights as an artist, so you can get paid and all of these things, so people know who it is. If somebody wants to license and sample your music and all of these type of things, they're trying to see how they could create a new platform, a new format of music almost, where you could have all of this information and it just not only be, for example, some of the things she was talking about is like, for example, if you wanted to, for the people that are like really, really into music, if you want to follow all the songs that were played by a certain guitar, for example, like going that deep into like what kind of information is put, because with the internet we kind of move away from the engagement, I guess, that certain people used to, that it had when they had albums and vinyls and stuff like that, where you would have the booklet, you can read through it and stuff, check the credits and stuff like that. With music online, most people ain't seeing the credits. You see the artist, you see the producer, if they put that in the title and stuff like that, maybe who featured on it, depending on what is used, but like all the other information is just lost.
Yeah, but
to some degree, if you could go looking for it, but I mean,
that's the thing, it's out there. If you really wanted to know, just like anything else, if you really want to know, you'd go and look for it.
You can, but it's not attached. It's not as easily attached and stuff like that as it is. Whereas, like, you buy the album, you get this information, but just presented to you.
But as you as an artist, you have to make. To me, that's your responsibility. You have to make sure that
not even like
if you have anything to do with that record, or if you have anything to do with that project, that your name is on it, that you get the credit for it, however it's labeled, however. So you have to make sure that you get the credit that you deserve.
It's not about getting the credit, dog. It's about making sure that everything is properly put on. Like, if you open Spotify, dog, what credits do you see? You see an artist name, you see a song title. You open title, you need to go into extra tabs and shit to find this information. It could, and I feel like now, and it's still kind of limited as to what information it is you can see. That was the thing that she was making, and like what I was saying with the instrument thing, that's just something that I think has never been done. I don't know if other people necessarily interested in something that specific, like if you were to follow every song that this specific guitar or whatever was used on or something like that, I don't know who would be interested in that information specific.
Just musicians only.
Yeah, I feel like, but
that's a real niche market.
Yeah, so like I feel like that's super specific.
I don't know. To me, I don't know. That
it would be cool to have it available, I guess, but
excuse me, then that really nothing I would really give a damn about. But I don't know. With the whole use of the internet itself, like I was saying, the only way I think it would improve is if all the major governments release all the information they have about aliens and the technology, and then leave us normal people use it, and then we can create our own advanced versions of whatever current systems that we have. That's what you got to
do. So we gotta go. You want them to let us in the Area 51, basically?
They don't have to leave us in. I mean, that would be great, but they just have to like release the documents now. Let the pictures be known. Let the people know that we ain't going crazy. Let the conspiracy theories lie, and then we could start actually advancing as a friggin' species. Because then, once I believe, okay, this is a dangerous statement. So I have a feeling, right? If humanity really have to understand and grasp the fact that we ain't the only ones here, that we might actually come together more as a race, because it's like we got other crap to worry about now. Like this ain't just one, like we humans at the end of the day. I mean, that might be an optimistic and strange thing actually coming from me, but they need to let the people know that, because it's impossible. Like, it's impossible. Like, you see all that crap that was going on last week with the whole
UFOs being released, or it's confirmation about the declassified documents of
Yeah, you had to read any of those documents?
I just saw the articles and stuff about it, and I was looking into. I mean, you tell me about it. Or you had to remind me and stuff about it, and then I went looking into it more in preparation for the podcast that never happened. Now, when I was looking into the fact that I don't remember the exact, off the top of my head right now, I don't remember the name of the department it was, but from 2007 to 2012, it was released that there was an Department of Defense, or some arm of the U.S. government in any case, that was responsible for looking into the UFO phenomenon, and
of course
was they had a budget and everything that was funded, and they recently released the documents. And the dude, what was his name? Luis Elizondo, I think, was the name of the dude who recently stepped down. And I was looking into some of his connections regarding this Tom DeLonge dude who was the guitarist or the he was
From
a member of Blink 182. I don't know what his focus was.
Yeah.
And apparently the dude who was the head of this department of UFOs and shit like that, he resigned because he wasn't down for all the secrecy and stuff that was going on about it. And he felt that these stuff needed to be talked about and he wanted it to just be released to the public and stuff. And as he started to get more into certain things, he just realized there was just a lot of secrecy and he resigned. And now he's working with this Beyond the Stars Space Academy, I think it named. It's something along those lines, which is the organization that Tom DeLonge, the dude from Blink 182, started. And the whole aim is to look into the UFO phenomenon, to research it, and they're supposedly going to be revealing a whole bunch of information soon. And I feel like it's a very weird situation. Does mean like this dude from Blink 182 that just happens to be interested in UFOs, and I don't know too much into the dude.
I don't know. I don't want to necessarily discredit him just because he's a guitarist from Blink 182. Okay, maybe he broke up on some people because of his status and whatnot.
Because like that's what the man was saying and thing in the Joe Rogan podcast where Joe Rogan was interviewing him, dude from Fear Factor. Like he was talking about the fact that part of the reason people approach him is because he's shown interest into the UFO phenomenon publicly. Blink 182 got some song saying aliens exist or some like that is the name of the song or whatever, and it's a kind of public thing that he is interested in the UFO phenomenon, and he was a public figure, he was part of a band, so it's like he was saying how he was entrusted by all these top level officials, and he was having these meetings with different government officials and thing about this situation. And there was also certain emails and thing in the WikiLeaks thing that said that he that kind of confirmed he was communicating with John Podesta, who was one of Hillary campaign people's involved in Hillary team or something like that. And like that alone is weird. And I'd read some of the emails because Noisy had an article where they was going through it. I don't remember if I'd finished reading the entire article, but they had like pull it up and they was kind of digging into that specific connection as to why is it that this dude that's just an artist has these connections, and it came out in this WikiLeaks document that he seems to be emailing this dude about some meetings and thing.
They definitely have stuff they hiding from the public, whether it's the United States government, the Russian government, the Chinese government. For all we know, the St. Martin government. Okay, I like St. Martin government don't know shit about that, but they definitely hiding something. But the thing is, I don't know. I have no idea how much or how deep it could actually go.
My theory, one of my theories that I know is going to sound ridiculously crazy.
Oh, God.
Is, well, not ridiculously crazy, but at least to me that.
Okay, there we go.
But science fiction is the truth, basically. Like, whatever they show you in science fiction, that's basically what is going on behind closed doors to some degree. And to say exactly what all is the truth, I know it's a little difficult. It's hard to say.
It depends which science fiction you're talking about.
But
yeah, you'll have to get really specific on that one, because they have a lot of things in science fiction. It's like, all right, okay, let's not get carried away now.
I like to watch science fiction for that reason, to try to. I use that as like my own personal puzzle and be like, okay. I just like science fiction shows in general, but to me, it's more like to see like, okay, and how much of this makes sense, how much of this could really be going on, type of stuff. And it's like when you watch, for example, B613, when it comes out now that the government stands about a secret organization or a part of their
that's a logical something I find
that has been secret. Like there's how many other secret departments and stuff do they have for whatever other purposes?
So which ones we don't know about?
Like
that's the whole thing. That I completely agree with you. To me that's a little bit logical. It's impossible. The government is such a broad something that don't have that kind of thing going on, especially in the United States.
One series that I thought was real interesting that I think, I know it's gonna sound ridiculously crazy, but I think something like this could really be going on, and that's just the show named Helix is on Netflix. It deals with these doctors and stuff from the CDC and stuff like that, but later it also brings in it delves into conspiracy stuff. But
I never watch it.
So. It's good. The first season, like it kind of The interesting part then to me is that there's immortals within this thing, and these immortals work for this corporation.
Okay,
and
so
there's
wait.
just there is like an Apple type of corporation that's like whatever's the richest corporation you can think of, that people that have the most money. It's run by a bunch of immortals, and in the first season, like the main character and his team of doctors, they were sent to the North Pole and stuff like that to investigate this base that was up there and stuff. And over there, DC was doing all kind of experiments with pathogens and different things that is in a place where, for one, ain't nobody going to go and check out what is going on up there. Like, it's all kind of restricted areas. You can't even go to certain parts. Like, that's actual factual, like, real stuff. There's certain parts of this world that you just can't go without certain clearances and things. So the fact that they could potentially have a secret lab up there where they're doing all kind of experiments and
it's possible.
Like,
but then my question is that the kind of science fiction you believe in? Not the fact, the conspiracy that they can have like secret labs and all kind of thing with like the immortals and stuff like that. You think they got people out there walking around that can't die?
Then you see how much science fiction have you watched? Because there's lots of. My thing is, I feel like if I see something a little too much, I start to get curious and wonder what was the origin of this, what spawned the original idea of, so whether it's vampires, werewolves, dragons.
I was just going to say,
mythical creature
you could like, for instance, even vampires, you could trace back the origin of vampires. Mm-hmm. Everything from Vlad the Impaler to like further back.
But for example, when you're going into certain mythical stuff, what's the origin of dragons then? Did they exist? Did they not exist? Are they completely mythical? Are they just like
flying
imagined lizards? Or like, because to me, a dinosaur doesn't seem too far off from what a dragon is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the dinosaurs possibly.
Breathing fire and stuff like that. I mean, there's animals like capable of all kind of crazy stuff. Animals with glands that produce ink and poison and this and that. Is fire really that much of a stretch?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
You find so?
They got animals that just glow. Could that not be seen as the same kind of what is the chemical that causing this to glow and light produce light? Maybe fire. Is it too far off?
I got a better example for you to back up your point, which is sad because they're destroying mine. The chameleon.
I was thinking chameleons and octopuses and squids. Like they got animals that do crazy ish.
That whole camouflage thing. Okay,
so that's why I'm just wondering: is it that strange? And even us humans, we have certain parts of our body that scientists and stuff don't know the purpose of, or they believe that in a previous time, in early evolutions, in different early humans, we used to use certain glands and well, you need a gland that produces whatchamacallit, and you need a spark. You need a gland that produces some kind of gas or something that could be flammable.
Yeah, but then what you can use for the spark?
Oxygen.
Yeah, but inside your body, so your body don't roast at the same time too.
Tell me, what is it inside of a octopus or squid? Where does this ink come from? How do you make ink? This black substance, how do those poison dart frogs produce the poison and stuff that's strong enough to kill them? These animals that could paralyze people, where do these things come from? I don't have the answers on where it comes from, but they have it. And I'm just saying, is it that much further of a stretch to imagine that an animal could have a gland within its body, like how we got the pineal gland and all the different glands in our body that produce different chemicals and hormones responsible for different things in our body? Is it that far of a stretch to imagine that some they got lizards that shoot poison and stuff like that, different reptiles and things? Is it that much of a stretch to imagine that some lizard has a gland that produces a flammable gas or something, and maybe it could like bite, it has teeth that could cause a spark or something? I don't know all the details.
I could maybe give you the animal one,
because I'm thinking now Samurai X. I don't know if you remember that episode where Sano was he was one of Shishio dudes, and Sano went up and reached That was before Shishio. It was before Shishio.
No, Shishio.
It was one of Aoshi Panos.
Oh, yeah, but
the dude who was breathing fire and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's a trick, dog.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is it that far of a stretch?
Yeah,
if you had that insert that same concept.
But that's what I'm saying. I can give you the animals one, cool. But there's no way we wasn't really talking about animals. We was talking about humans.
Okay.
You believe in the whole immortal as like humans?
Then we
like
get,
they got human people.
Now we're going into things that I was showing you like last week when you bring in an Anunnaki theory and stuff like that.
But then there was a human. Supposedly, according to the theory, the Anunnakis were these friggin' gods that come down here.
They were aliens. They were advanced species. We don't know exactly what they was that came here, and we.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it was our we didn't know what to call them. We never saw beings coming from the
gods.
sky.
Yeah, okay, cool. But then, according to the story, we couldn't have seen them either because, according to the story again, they created man. No.
They came down and they was busy, the Homo erectus or whatever was on the planet at the time.
And they used their DNA to infuse them to create
so it's
man.
like they had to have certain elements of us potentially to get us to this point. So it's like they were maybe the more human-like aspect that was crossed with what was very ape-like and thing as being Homo erectus. And then you get this human that we are and stuff, and they may be like a perfect or human, like a Thor, for example, or like that's where I say, like, when you see certain science fiction, it makes me think Thor is just an alien, and all the Norse mythology and stuff like that, those are things that are real. The whole stories of from Vikings and Thor and Odin and the different gods and things like that. In the comic book explanation, these just aliens. They come from another planet or whatever. Could this just not be all the same thing? And when you go into the like, when you go into
that still don't answer the whole thing with immortal humans though. Like what we know humans as, because you're talking about these aliens. These is people that got other powers that we can't comprehend. So you believe there's like humans here.
That's the same thing, though.
I mean,
a human with powers that we can't comprehend. You still humanoid in appearance and everything. You just live forever.
But that's not a human. Humans don't live forever.
If Superman did not tell you he was an alien, would you know that Superman was not an alien? Clark Kent.
Because humans don't friggin' fly.
Clark Kent. If he never told you that I'm Superman, would you assume that Clark Kent was immortal? No. Could that same thing not be happening now?
But then that's because
they're just not flying around.
Yo, look, right? If me and you have to get in a fight, I going to see you get boxed off and you bleed.
And look at the story of Clark Kent.
If me and this man have to get in a fight and he get boxed off, he go nowhere.
Okay.
That's obviously a red flag.
Now my question being, how many stories have there not been about people who've been abducted by aliens, or people who see this, or people who telling you like, yo, you can get sent to the cocoa field and all things? Have you ever seen any confirmation of any of these things? But all of these stories still out there circulating all the time. But could it not have been that, okay, maybe there was a story of somebody who punched a wall and is like, yo, what nonsense you talking? Like, they're going to tell that story to somebody like me who is very skeptical of things, and I'm be like, yo, you talking nonsense, dog. Ain't nobody, you can't punch somebody and then your hand break or whatever, and then they not move or nothing, like how they made a steel type of thing.
But then you see, you got to take too many things. As a story. That's the thing. You have to take too many things into consideration, because like at the same time, you have to look at the person as an individual. Do they exaggerate when they're telling stories? Do you know that person well enough? Because if they cannot give you, first of all, nobody is really tell a story exactly how it is. It's always
even
A, B.
If regardless of how much you trust the person or what their track record might be, if they cannot present you with some hard, solid evidence, you just gonna be like, but that's just a story. I could know you my whole life. If you tell me, yo, somebody send me to the cocoa field, or somebody send you to the cocoa field or something, I gonna be like, wait.
If I grew up with, look, right?
Where is this cocoa field? Tell me where it is. I'm curious. What's the address?
But you see, that's the thing. You asking the wrong questions. If I know you for years, we grew up together, and you never lie or come up with any kind of story like that. As a matter of fact, you didn't believe it. And one day you have
to believe you.
And you come one day you just have to come and tell me, yo, Kana, I just come back from the cocoa. I was in the cocoa field.
I was abducted.
Or something. Whatever. So me being me, I ask you. I might laugh, I might chuckle, but I ask you a few questions. I'll be like, okay, cool. How you come back?
And when none of what I say adds up in the real world, in the world that you're able to understand and comprehend, because I never saw what I saw. You never experienced what I'm telling you that I saw and stuff.
I would give your words more of a thought and more of okay, cool. Maybe.
But would that be definitive proof for you to say that aliens exist, for example, or the cocoa or like voodoo is real? Or
no, but would it make me think and raise my eyebrow? Yeah, because I would know you as a person. But if some random person come and tell me, yo, I was abducted, I'd be like, okay, cool. I mean, I heard it before. But if somebody like if for some Woods, you know, hail up the lumberman. If this man have to come and tell you, yo, I get abducted by
one because he's lumber, I gonna laugh. For him being lumber, dog, I gonna laugh. That gonna be my first response.
Yeah, I couldn't even finish the sentence.
I mean,
yo, if this man have to ever come and tell me that,
him being lumber, I probably could think he joking, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know this. You give the definition of somebody who's a serious joker who known to making jokes and things like that.
That might have been a bad example. By who's somebody a little more serious?
Like, there's not no definitive proof.
It's not definitive, but it's
still gonna leave you skeptical.
You'll take
and
the word into consideration, Jay. I would take somebody who I know word more serious than somebody just a random person who tell me, yeah, but I was just a dog.
Maybe I program different. Maybe cool. I'm just different. Because to me, it's like, yo, I would love for all of these things to be real, but I am way too pessimistic or skeptical.
But that's where you gotta ask questions.
Like,
you can't just be like, all right, cool.
The
like,
reason
cool.
I've spent so much time looking into these things is because I would love for them to be real. But I don't necessarily.
But you see, exactly, that's even better because look, if this man's story could match up with one of it got to match up with, if it's real, it got to match up with one of the other stories. So, and if that is true, that should alone, okay, it's not definitive proof, but is an indication leading towards something. I mean, if it look like a duck, act like a duck, sound like a duck, I mean, it's not a centipede.
And we got in like...
So, is thing just... Again, it's not definitive. But that's why the government needs to release the definitive proof. That's what needs to happen.
But that ain't gonna happen.
But it might,
It's not. And the reason being is because it gonna put people in jail. It's not gonna happen. How you mean?
How are you gonna put people in jail?
The amount of things like from this same article, this article that was just released, and I feel like what it revealed isn't even nothing that's a hella deep. It's like, okay, cool, there was a secret department that's looking into the UFO phenomenon. That's basically all that they said. And they had a certain budget from 5 years, from 2007 to 2012, blah, blah, blah. That's basically all they said. Like, people been saying there's UFOs and different things, and we've been assuming about Area 51 is a U.S. government base and things like that for years. So what they're saying isn't really nothing but the fact, I mean, it's still...
It's about
the contradictory. It's still about the contradiction in the sense that from the government perspective, they've been denying it for years, like, and it's now...
So it's like, what to believe now?
No. That's what I mean, where people gonna go jail and stuff like that. There's a lot of problems when it comes to, okay, so what's the story? What really happened? You got to get this thing straight before you could release this information out. Because we've been saying this one story for many, many years.
Yeah, they will prosecute themselves and throw themselves in jail because of something they cover up.
Listen, the government is an organization made out of many, 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 many people. There's many, many people who could go down. Not everybody gonna go down, but
I mean,
these people sign all kind of non-disclosure agreements and whatnot, depending on, like, what's the point of you having a certain level of classified clearance and stuff like that if you're just gonna be talking all the information out there and stuff like that? We don't know stuff for reasons. But if they just start coming out and telling stuff, it's going to contradict all of what was previously the official stories. And just like the wormwood thing I was telling you about, dog, with the MK Ultra documentary and thing, that's how these things going to work. 20, 30 years down the line, when statute of limitations on whatever crimes these people been committing is up and nobody's going to go to jail,
but that's the thing,
then they're going to tell us, like, yo, we was experimenting on y'all and y'all didn't even know.
They've been doing this since the 20s, so I mean, it's about time.
But every 20, 30 years, we gonna find out what he was doing 20, 30 years before. That's how it's going to go when nobody's at risk, when nobody can go to jail. That's why I'm telling you is like, what you saying about how we need to know so the human race can advance and thing. we are kept in the dark, but the humans who know, they're human who know, and they're advancing perfectly fine. They just don't care about us necessarily. All of the political and business elite that are within the inner circles to find out all the information that you self saying they keeping from Trump or whatever. Like,
yo, no, I mean honestly,
people
right?
know that.
You would
just don't.
You would tell Trump that they got aliens? Really?
Well, he really said so. I mean,
no.
So what kind of aliens you think it is? Like MAB situation, like that what you feel going on in the world? Men in Black? They just living amongst us, working in the post office inside the printer and beatboxing and
you see, I just kind of listen. Okay, not kind of, but I religiously just listen to a podcast that my brother and my sister put me on. Mysterious Universe. It's called Mysterious Universe.
Yeah, you told me about it previously.
Yeah, if you want to check it, is you could just go on Google and type in mysteriousuniverse.org. I'm going to send you more Mysterious Universe podcast. I'm going to send you to it. What they just talk about now is all kind of weird things, from conspiracy theories to creatures from like fairies and Bigfoot and UFOs and vampires and all these kind of like
just watching a Bigfoot documentary, but continue.
But
continue.
By pause on the Bigfoot.
Continue,
we'll come back.
continue.
We'll come back to that because I have an interesting point to that whole Bigfoot thing though. So yeah, that's what the podcast about. So what it is do is collect all these stories and books from like people who have these encounters and who research in these things, and they just talk about it. And one is two fellows. One of them got a background in business, and the other one got a background in science. So like it is kind of objective. So like when it's really bullshit, they just really call it bullshit. Like they just laugh at it, just make fun of it, and them kind of ones. But like some of the stories it does cover, it does have some kind of facts and research about it. So like there's even go about like OBEs, which is like out of body experiences, when like you could come out your body, and like they'd bring on people who could like, who according to them they could train you, they could learn it and all that kind of crap. So it's like listening to that podcast for like at least 2-3 years now. And because it is back it up with like some kind of research with some kind of what to me at least seems logical and the most logical story that I've heard at least, it got me thinking like yeah, they got things that out there. Because number one, we's one planet in one solar system, in one galaxy, in a
universe that's forever expanding, supposedly.
Whatever. No, there's something above the galaxy that we in that's in the universe.
Milky Way, but no, that's the galaxy.
Yeah, is at least 2-3 levels before we hit the universe. And then according to the theories, they got a plethora of friggin' universes. Yeah. So if that indeed is the case, that we cannot be the only living creatures, logically is impossible. Is impossible. We the only living things in the universe.
Okay.
It cannot be. So with that being said, I believe that there's some things, there's multiple things out there, yeah, but we just haven't had a confirmation about it. Because like for example, we had talked about our whole recently see something about Bigfoot. According to what I've been hearing, Facebook. I don't know why Facebook come in my head all of a sudden. But Bigfoot seemingly have a correlation with UFO sightings. And according to one theory, is that UFOs, whatever aliens is, will have some kind of control or are enslaving.
So Bigfoot is again jutsu that the aliens putting on us then?
No, Bigfoot is actually a slave for the aliens. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one theory. Because according to like the eyewitnesses, quote unquote, like they would see the lights and all that kind of, the orbs and all kind of crap like that, and all of a sudden right under it they would see a bunch of like hairy humanoids looking beings, and like they would just like disappear into the orb, and then the orb would just gone.
You see, like them type of stories,
so it's like
remind me of the 4400. I don't know if you have watched that series.
No,
that was a series where 4,400 people had just in this small town somewhere in the States, they vanished and then they all reappeared, and some had powers and stuff like that. And like,
is that Netflix?
Yeah, I think it is.
4,400. I might check that.
Interesting stuff. But then, kind of going back on something that we was talking about on earlier, like on the sci-fi is the truth type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you ever heard the concept of the watchers, observers, and stuff like that in any other science fiction shows.
No.
But basically, like, these people that it's something has been in many series. Like, they were in Fringe, which was, like, to me, one of my favorite sci-fi series that I ever watched. Like,
Fringe?
Yeah.
No,
Fringe was real dope. It's about this agent and this guy who was like Walter. That was one of the first things that introduced me to like some of the MK Ultra things, because he was a scientist and he was talking about it, how he was one of the people supposedly responsible for creating LSD and blah blah. And it was just a really interesting story that went deep into conspiracies. And right now it's been a while since I watched, so I can't go too deep into like what it was about storyline wise. But and they had the Watchers, I believe, in Flash, in an episode of Flash, they had the Watchers or the Observers concept as well. There was this other movie with these people.
What is it though?
These people that basically are able to, Legends of Tomorrow kind of touches on it. The concept of the people that monitor time, people that you see like random appearances, like you see this guy in this picture, but then like in a picture in the future, he's the same person is in that picture, but then like.
Okay.
Maybe like at the moment, like when Napoleon was doing what he was doing, you see in this dude in the background, and it's like, but wait, that's
and
the
they
same
always
dude.
in suits.
Like, yeah,
They always in like shades and suits.
The hat suit, and it look kind
of.
You
know, it's funny you bring that up because you know there's actually.
They dare to kind of monitor the timeline and just monitor humanity's trajectory to ensure it going according to course kind of thing.
You see, that's funny because what you're describing is called something different from what I've heard. So from the same podcast I was listening to, they seem to have something called literally the Men in Black. So it seems that everywhere there's like a lot of times where phenomenon activities happen.
Paranormal.
My bad.
I thought you was going a different direction. No. That's why you throw phenomenon.
My bad. Yo, you talking about English? Mine's terrible. That's the only language I speak. That's the only language I speak. But yeah, anything like paranormal of like them kind of ones, of whether it's aliens or like creatures or stuff like that. All of a sudden, these men would appear, and it's like real awkward men in suits, real old looking, like they ain't been fed properly, but like they real awkward when they're talking to you, and they like straight to the point. What you doing? Like what you see and all kind of thing. And it seems like they have some kind of ability to stop time, or like real Men in Black type crap. It seems like that is real. And now that you say that you've been seeing it on a whole different something, is like, bye, maybe it's true.
That's why I watch certain series and I just be like, what is the origin of these things? Who was the first person?
But I mean, the imagination is serious now. I mean, we can't take out the imagination. So I mean, a lot of things we got to take with a grain of salt. It ain't necessarily to say like, you get that from somewhere. But no, I could just easily think up like
ain't nothing new.
How you mean?
Like, I feel like there's very little that's genuinely new. For example, like, there's a limited amount of words and phrases and things that can be thought of. Like, for you think you make this, like, you think you make the most genius, come up with the most genius, clever punchline and thing. Then you go back to some old hip hop and realize, like, yo, you're not the first person to say that line. You think it's an original thought and shit, but somebody come up with the same thing before you. How does that happen? Because I know it happened to me before. Like, thinking up a line, I was like, yo, that shit sounds dope, but turns out I heard that before. Why is that possible? How can that happen? Because can two different
the same genres of music, so you end up with the same words, end up with the same vocabulary.
How many words are there in like existence?
Yeah, but because it's the same genre, you end up with the same kind of not the same mentality, but kind of with the same general. That's all I'm saying.
Nothing new. Nothing is new. That's why when I look at all of these movies and when I look at all of these series and things, I know they're making remakes. I know they, like, oftentimes when you look at people who create, they're constantly looking for inspiration now. Because inspiration isn't some magical thing that just happens. Like, it's something that you actively have to look for. It's things that inspire you, go and do things, see things. like Basquiat, for example, the painter, he used to have on like the TV, the radio on at the same time while he's painting the thing, just to constantly be stimulated, be getting different ideas, things to that potentially trigger him and stuff like that.
But that's the thing. You can get one idea from somewhere else and one idea from like a different location
People
and mix it together, and that's an original idea. Technically.
And that is how we kind of create new in this term, because
it's not
like
the same. It has elements.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that that's not what we like.
Yeah.
I agree that is exactly what we do, and that's what's considered new. But that's still not a new idea in a way. It's like you see this.
It's not a new concept.
But combination of the way you put things together may be different. But you there's source material. There's something that is a reference that is part of a blueprint and stuff like that to some degree.
Yeah, but that's the thing. How you choose to mix it, that's the originality there. That's where the originality comes from. How you choose to mix those two things. Because not everybody gonna choose to mix it the same way you choose to.
All I'm saying, that's a compilation. It isn't new. Like the thing what you make may indeed be new, but it's still like
based off, you're trying to say based off of something.
For example, if the concept, if I got the idea for a zebra because I saw a horse and I saw a rhino, and then he said, let me put the horse, or draw the horse onto draw the horn onto the horse or something like that, and now do I have a unicorn? Like, is the unicorn new, or is it just a horse with a horn on it?
It's new because the unicorn.
Technically, yes.
Yeah,
but
because
it isn't. You can clearly see where the origins come from and where that came from.
Because they have many animals that have a horn. It's not just the rhino. So you kind of
in the scenario that I just gave,
yes,
where I looked
at
the horse and I looked at the rhino, and I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm using to make a unicorn.
But you see, I could take the same horse. And I could take another animal that have a horn and be like, I could take a dinosaur, be like, yo, I gotta take a triceratops. We make the same unicorn, but it's still different because it's based from different animals. And how we choose to mix it, or how our view of it is still different. So while it might come from something else, it's still an original something.
So you feel a Sasquatch, a werewolf, whatever mythical being we maybe have, that they could have just been like they never existed. It was never real. They all them just figments of our imagination, things that people create.
Werewolf,
fairies, and leprechauns, yes, and
werewolf, yes,
like
fairies,
dwarves and goblins and like
fairies. You would have to sell me on that a little bit more.
Pokemon and stuff like that. Okay, I mean, I ain't saying Pokemon, but
you're going a little.
If you go into different Asian, different Asian mythology, from spirits and sprites and different things that from the jinn and the different things that they believe in, could a Pokemon not be an extension of those things?
But that's context as well. You have to understand that's a different something. You have to understand the Japanese.
People do not know enough about the mythology of the origins of where things could have came from. Doesn't mean.
But that's the thing. You have to understand the Japanese culture as well, and as well where those mythology and things come from. A lot of those things is stories that came from hardships and hard times. So not necessarily it was something to say that they based on something they see and is a story that passed on from generations. A lot of those stories were brought up because of those they had nothing else to do to pass the time. You check it out. So that's why it's a little bit different comparing the Asian ones than to the so-called supernatural creatures that we'll be seeing here in the West. Because it's really possible that those are legit, like what you hear is legit a legend, a folk tale, a legit a story. Meanwhile, the ones here, like with
myths from all over the world.
But I mean, Sasquatch could be something that's logically, removing all bias and all bullshit, Sasquatch and Bigfoot is something that could be possible because we have not been in all the jungles and in all the places in the world.
Dragons play a huge role in Eastern and Asian mythology, different Asian countries' mythology as well.
Yeah, but they could just be getting that from the ancestors who was there fucking around with the dinosaurs. You check? Especially when the Japanese culture and the Chinese culture are concerned, they're great friggin' storytellers. Great. One of the best, as a matter of fact. Again, not taking away to the fact that not all the things could be real, but I just know culturally is a different context where they is concerned.
I don't understand or what point it is you make. I feel like you contradicting and you switching on different points. Like, are you trying to say that the shit is based in reality or it's all made up? Because I don't understand what point it is.
Because you had bring up the whole dragons and stuff like that. What I was saying is that the whole dragons and stuff, that's really based mostly on the Asian culture and the Asian mythology. And with the Asian mythology, you have to take it with a grain of salt a little bit more than the others because they're great at storytelling. And a lot of their myths and a lot of the mythology itself comes from legit just storytelling, not based of what possibly someone could have seen, like how the other, like Sasquatch and all those things has been described. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that could bring up with the whole dragon thing. So now with like Bigfoot and stuff like that could be possible. Because we have not discovered all the animals in the world. There's a lot of places man has not been. So it's possible that we could discover new creatures still. I mean, man's still discovering new bugs and like fish and them kind of one. I mean, the ocean has a totally different topic, but like Sasquatch and stuff like that could be possible. Fairies and all that that real like supernatural stuff, you'll have to sell me a little bit more on that.
Mm-hmm.
But the UFOs, I definitely think it's possible, without a doubt.
Like, if you wasn't already talking for an hour and a half, an hour and 5 minutes, I definitely would sell you on it some more because I definitely got some things in mind. I was like, but I don't know. To me, my thing is just, I personally believe that all of it has some truth. I know a lot of it can be embellishments and, like you said, like the unicorn example, seeing something here, seeing another element of something there, combining it, creating something new, and then like you repeat that process over enough. Like, for example, if somebody see that unicorn and see that dragon or whatever, and now they put those two things together and create something new to that, you repeat that process like over and over. Eventually you got something that's like completely so far removed from what it originally was and thing. Exactly. And I feel like that definitely is some of it. But I don't know. I refuse to believe that it's just all that. I feel like
not all of them.
I feel like there's like
some of them might have some.
We need to make a show specifically going into like each myth, each like mythical creature and stuff like that. Analyze the animal and be like, could this have
supernatural?
Could this have existed in Medusa? Like,
no, but you see
the Gorgons and stuff. These creatures.
But then we would have to really segment it. We're like, okay, are we going to go to like Greek mythology? And we're going to try
Egyptian mythology, Sumerian mythology,
and then how deep we're going to go into all of those, because we're just going to talk about the gods, or we're going to talk about like the evil parts as well, because there's always some kind of war in them. It's never a simple something.
Yeah.
So that's something for future shows. Definitely something we're gonna get into. But yeah, since we've been here for about an hour and change, we're gonna wrap up this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like always, give us a look on YouTube. You can see us on the YouTube channel. You could comment on the channel, of course. That's very much appreciated. And give us
like what way is he going with this?
But it's been a long week. Don't forget to like, share the video. Leave us know what you think. If
subscribe to our channel, like the Facebook page,
all of that. Share with your family, your friends. If you have nothing else to do around the holidays or you're drunk, you can listen to some LinkUp.
Yes, and we still got you. While all the other shows have abandoned you and gone on holiday break, we still here.
We still
just
walking.
remember that. Just remember that.
We walk in, okay?
We put it in who's there for you in those hard times. But anyway, people,
like always, if you have a topic, like you were saying, if you have anything, like for example, with a UFO topic or anything paranormal you'd like us to discuss or you'd like us to dive into, leave us know. Anything else in general you want us to talk about, or anybody else specific you would like us to have on the show.
And before we leave, I just want to leave the audience with a question. What was some of y'all favorite, I guess, mythical creatures or fictional science fiction stories? Like, whether it's dragons, fairies, leprechauns, whatever it might be.
Vampire.
Einstein?
Einstein.
Wow.
Frankenstein. I was close.
Oh, okay,
I was close.
The smart man. Okay, true.
I was close. But what was yours? Speak it up before we leave.
I have no idea. Now take me some time to think.
Yeah.
And like mythical thing. I mean, I always thought vampires were cool until Twilight, but Like
werewolves is my thing.
They cool, but it depends on which werewolves. Cause like the ones in Harry Potter and like what kind of which.
Yeah, I was actually, it's sad, but I was more thinking like a Twilight werewolf.
They're okay. Like the werewolves in Twilight, like cool. The vampires
like,
just stupid and sparkly, and like they're not real vampires. Like vampires don't sparkle. Vampires supposed to burn. Like I don't know what kind of nonsense that is, but if it's like underworld vampires, I could rock with that.
I think
them is cool vampires.
But I really interested in the whole like ghost and devil and exorcist and possible other side type something. That's a whole nother different.
I'm interested in a spiritual world. To me, like this is going to be another topic that lasts forever. But to me, like Legend of Korra, for example, Legend of Korra, the way that she was able to transition, just Legend of Avatar,
of Avatar in general, yeah.
Like the way they're able to go into the spiritual world and stuff like that, and cross over that kind of thing. To me, I feel like that's kind of just how it is. Like that's the way the world really is to some degree. There's this other dimension that we literally can't see. I was
gonna ask a question, but then that will lead to
go and start on way too long, man. I have a concept that I want to drop, but I know that's like a whole.
Nah, but we gonna save that for next time. You know, you write it down. So again, everybody, thank you for listening to this. Lord, another hour long episode.
Hour and 10.
You know, thanks for putting in the time and
staying with us. But anyway, in any case, we'll see you the next time.
We like blessings.
Done.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, soon. Okay, we done now for real. Okay, we got now.